What are some examples of free market policies or a culture of classical liberalism in traditional African societies?
So again, this is also divided into two. First, what do we consider classical liberalism, and does that describe African values? And also, what are the examples? So first, classical liberalism, of course, as an ideology or as a way of, it's a framework for social or economic constructs. Classical liberalism was properly developed in Europe, but of course, we know the history of the Enlightenment and whatnot. However, if you look critically at what classical liberalism is, a lot of its tenets, the respect of law, the respect of human rights and dignity, open trade, the love for peace over war, these were tenets that are akin to African societies from time immemorial. So can we then say for that reason that we can then call these African societies classical liberal societies, or societies where classical liberalism was the primary framework for social construct or societal construct? And I don't think that's the case. So when we say classical liberalism, we really have to localize the definition. And what that means is that if we say Southern African society flourished on the back of open trade, for example, the largest markets in West Africa then were open. And there are no concrete evidence that the kings of Ashanti or the kings of the Oyo or the kings of the Mande will come into those markets and say, this is the price that I want to set for certain commodities. Of course, there were instances where the royal courts was interested in the market itself, but grossly they did not determine how people trade, with whom they trade, and at what rate they sell their commodity or exchange services. So does that necessarily mean these African societies, Mande or your Ashanti societies, were classical liberal? No. So I guess it's really important for us to not label certain tenets or collection of tenets that are akin to classical liberalism and say because those tenets exist in African society A or African society B, then the society are classical liberal society. Perhaps it could be useful for us to find a new terminology to describe those African societies that exhibit characteristics that are noticeable in classical liberal societies. But I will really not advocate for us to call them classical liberal societies. If they are societies that flourish on the back of free trade, we should identify it as such. If they're societies that flourish on the back of respect for human rights and dignity, then we should identify them as such, but not constrict them to terminologies, ideologies that were developed by Europeans while considering European realities. I mean, of course, you agree with me. Marx was thinking about his philosophy or his ideology with Britain, Germany, Europe at large in its consideration. The same thing as the Enlightenment scholars who were located in Germany, France, England, who were writing based on their current realities. So do we then say whatever ideologies these people came out with, these Europeans came out with, then we can use it to describe African societies? I don't think that that would be beneficial to our understanding of African societies at all.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow us on Twitter at @the_IATP. Also, hit the like and subscribe button below and check out our website at www.theiatp.org.